Recently, there was a documentary released on Netflix called Behind the Curve, in which flat earthers debunk the theory basically 3 times in a row but completely ignore it while stating that the earth is still flat. The person that annoys me the most in this documentary is the guy who bounces balls off of hammers for some reason.
And then the more I researched it, and then I found out that it's actually the biblical cosmology is a geocentric cosmology, then I realized why they're hiding the truth. It's because they don't want anyone to know anything. They want people dumb, blind, deaf to the truth, so they can inject you with their vaccines and their public schooling and this heliocentric model, which is basically forced sun worship.
As you can see, he's a flat earther and he's also an anti-vaccinator, possibly one of the 2 worst conspiracy theories ever to exist in history. The entire documentary is an unstructured mess of these flat earthers shooting themselves in the foot until they can't stand anymore. The budget for this documentary was upwards of $20,000, and I think the only reason they actually published it is so that way it didn't feel like a total waste of time.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? Anyone ever told you the earth is flat? What? I just...
I'm sorry, but he just goes up to this guy about to drive away in his sports car and asks him basically, do you think the earth is flat?
Geese. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I run the largest flat earth group in the world. We're actually filming a documentary about it, so...
I mean, weird flex, but okay.
Technically, it's the word Nasha, but it sounds so similar. You hate Americans? Is that it?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
How the hell did you get that?
Well, I just got kicked out of Starbucks for asking NASA employee questions.
Who does that? So you get kicked out of some Facebook groups and a Starbucks, but instead of thinking, maybe I should reassess my viewpoint because no one likes me, you think, nah, the government's trying to come and get me, everybody's an enemy to everyone, and they're trying to cover up the truth. I haven't uncovered this. Like what? What are you gonna uncover? There's nothing there. You wonder why? Because it doesn't exist. No, this isn't boo-hoo, the world's out to get you because I hate you. It's because you're wrong, and you can't accept that because, of course you're right. They're trying to cover up something. I'm gonna find this. Well, tell you what, you ain't gonna find shit.
You know, they think they're total idiots and they live in their mom's basement and they believe everything anyone tells them. It's quite the opposite. We test everything. We're all either super successful or doing our own thing, and...
Don't get me wrong, testing is important, but there's a difference between testing something and accepting those results and testing something and then not accepting those results. You guys test stuff, but then when you're wrong, you say, oh, we probably did something wrong. There's probably something else in the way, another variable. But you take the little tiny grains of salt you can from your little tiny conspiracy theories and blow them up into huge proportions and ignore everything else because, of course you're right, you know? Then this documentary completely switches gears and it starts talking about this guy's wife, I think, home life, which we could care less about. If you want to make a documentary about yourself, why not go write an autobiography?
It's very close to my heart. He was an inspiration to me when I was very young. The song Meat is Murder changed me to being vegan. He's not a flat earther, but there's still hope.
This is what I'm talking about. This documentary is completely unstructured and it's basically a mess.
Flat Earth community are in the closet. But now we're almost to that tipping point because now there's celebrity references and there's mainstream media references.
The sky is the limit.
Okay, so all these flat earthers are coming out of their graves and basically showing that they believe the earth is flat, but I want to address the fact that the sky is the limit. I don't think these guys understand how the basic atmosphere works. For an atmosphere to fit around this shaped earth, it would have to curve and bend in sharp places, which is physically impossible with the gases that are in the atmosphere. The most sense it would ever make is if it was a globe, conveniently, which it is. There isn't much to say on the topic of the Flat Earth Conference, but I gotta say, this guy has a freaking FET sticker on the back of his Chromebook.
What you can observe. You don't need complicated math formulas to figure out where you live, but the powers that should not be have told us so. And trust us, believe us. And we have. I did. We all did.
Ironically enough, the Flat Earth community is doing the exact same thing. You guys have literal license plates and public figures that say the Earth is flat. And you should trust us, you should believe us, because we're part of the community, not the corrupt government. It's ridiculously hypocritical, and I can't believe it's happening.
The difference between being skeptical about something and being in denial is very subtle but very important, right? Someone who is skeptical is willing to test their own hypothesis, their own assumptions. They are actually looking for the truth, even if it turns out that they were wrong.
This is the guy I probably agree with most in the entire documentary. A lot of flat earthers don't like to assume that their experiments will go wrong or even right. But a lot of flat earthers also won't accept wrong results and will retest and just assume something went wrong.
Turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15-degree-per-hour drift. Now, obviously we were taken aback by that.
This is the kind of stupidity I saw in this documentary. These guys just disproved their entire theory with a $20,000 instrument and only an hour of work. Seriously, they even said they were taken aback by this, but of course they're gonna be like, oh, we probably did something wrong. We could have gone from point B, we could have done something else, reverse psychology. It's obviously not actually rotating, right? It's dumb. What the heck? So then the two people go on a little trip and they yell, the earth is flat inside of a NASA facility, and completely abandon the gyro idea until coming back to it like 20 minutes later. And then they say they're going to shine a laser, and they literally... That's false. Your fiber optic gyro already proved the ball. You literally said there's rotation, which obviously means there's a ball. I don't know what you guys are going with this, but... Did you just see that weather balloon shot? It clearly showed a bit of curve in the earth, and that was not lens distortion. Yes, the lens did distort, but it does not distort exactly in the center of the frame, which means that the Earth does in fact have a curve, since the curve of the Earth was visible in the center of the frame. It's really ridiculous, and I can't believe that the Globebusters literally disproved themselves with a weather balloon.
It's ludicrous what they're teaching. You can't feel any of the movement, and they think we go faster than a bullet through space.
Ah yes, and you obviously didn't listen in 7th grade science either, because inertia is definitely a thing. If something keeps moving at a reasonable speed for a sustained amount of time, you won't feel a thing unless it accelerates or decelerates.
Truthers, flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, when we leave people behind, we leave bright minds to mutate and stagnate. These folks are potential scientists gone completely wrong. Their natural inquisitive and rejection of norms could be beneficial to science if they were more scientifically literate.
The thing is that truthers, flat earthers, and anti-vaxxers alike are not scientific literate, and if they were scientifically literate, that they wouldn't believe this sort of stuff. I do believe that anybody could be beneficial to science judging by what they know, but not because they know it or is correct. The Flat Earth Conference is mostly boring, with people saying be inspirational, help the world out with this Flat Earth thing, and basically this market guy is basically the pioneer of Flat Earth or whatever. When the clip of the Flat Earth Conference ends, then they go back to their experiments 2 weeks later. They leave less than 2 minutes at the end of the video to explain all their experiments. They go to a backup experiment and never actually end up completing the laser experiment.
We don't see you, Enrique. Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting.
You can find this clip online basically everywhere of the person saying at the end, this is interesting. And it's honestly really embarrassing. They spent the entire documentary building up and then only for the end to be anticlimactic and boring. Seriously, they make it sound like a great community. The Flat Earth community is totally awesome and you should join it. But no, it doesn't exist. We can't prove anything because we don't want to admit that we're wrong.